We listen to our customers, and many of our customers have told us that sometimes they need to know the older version as well as the newer version of popular software programs. So, to help you stay both flexible and up to date, we've designed QuickStudy videos to be used with the latest as well as the earlier versions of your software programs. This could be a lifesaver in a tight situation. Where major differences exist between the versions, the keystroke sheet shows you both methods. Any suggestions you may have to improve our packages would be appreciated. This QuickStudy video is designed to be watched away from the computer. So for now, just sit back and watch the video. Later, at the computer, you may use the included keystroke sheet to help you remember what keys to push.
Microsoft Word is a program that allows you to create and make changes to letters and other documents. This video will show you basic and intermediate steps for using Microsoft Word. We'll also give you some valuable tips on how to use it more effectively. In this intermediate Microsoft Word video, we'll first review basic word processing skills. Then we'll show you how to use the spelling checker, the thesaurus, and the help screens. We'll show you how to view your document in different ways, how to change the size and style of your text, how to control line spacing, how to put margins and tab stops into a document, how to add headers and footers, and page numbers, how to add columns, how to insert graphics, how to use macros to perform a series of steps using just a few keys, how to create a data file and merge it into a document, and finally, how to exit Microsoft Word. This video will cover features that you can use in two versions of Microsoft Word, both Word 95 and Word 97. If your menus and buttons look like this, you have Word 97. If they look like this, you have Word 95. The keystrokes are basically the same in both versions, with only a few differences. While we will be concentrating on showing the features in Word 97, when there's a difference in Word 95, we'll show you how to do it in that version as well. We assume that you're familiar with Microsoft Windows 95, and that you know how to choose things by clicking on either buttons or menu items in the Windows 95 system. If not, we suggest you watch our Windows 95 video before continuing with this tape. Basic word processing. First, we'll review basic word processing. If you're already familiar with word processing, you may want to skip this section. In our example here, we've started the program with a blank document on the screen, and we're now going to start typing. Let's say we're typing a school term paper about the basics of using computers. Using a word processor like this is similar to using a typewriter, with a few important differences. For example, when you're typing in a word processor, you don't have to press return at the end of a line as you would on a typewriter. You just keep typing. The text automatically wraps around to the next line for you. When you want to start a new paragraph, then you press return, or enter as it's called on most personal computers. As you type, words appear to the left of this flashing line, which is called the cursor. Once you've typed text, you can place the cursor anywhere in the text by moving the mouse pointer to the spot you want and clicking once. You can also use the arrow keys on the keyboard to go up or down, or left or right in your document. If you make a mistake, you can move the cursor to where the error is. Then you can press the backspace key to erase the characters to the left of the cursor, or the delete key to erase the characters to the right of the cursor. Then you can type in your correction. It's that simple. Editing text in Word documents. Now we'll show you different ways to edit your text once it's typed in. First, we'll show you how to select text in the document and make changes to it. To select or highlight a word, place the mouse pointer right before the word, click and hold the mouse button down and drag across the word to select it. Then release the mouse button. This selects the entire word. There's also a quicker way. Position the mouse pointer within the word and then double-click. Click twice rapidly like this. This selects the entire word automatically. You can select several words or lines of text by clicking and dragging the mouse across the text. To select or highlight the entire document, just click on the Edit menu and click on Select All. This highlights all of the text in your document. To deselect the text, all you have to do is click once anywhere in the document. The text then returns to normal. Most text editing requires that you select the text first. One thing you can do after you've selected the text is to quickly replace it by just typing from the keyboard. The new letters that you type replace the selected letters. So be careful. You'll be erasing everything that's highlighted as you start to type over it. If you want to move some text to another place in your document, you can use the Cut, Copy, and Paste features here in the toolbar. This is Cut, this is Copy, and this is Paste. These features come in handy if you need to move paragraphs or sentences around in your document. In our example, we've got a couple of sentences that are in the wrong order. To make the correction, we want to cut this sentence out of the document and paste it back in ahead of this sentence. Now, to cut text, you need to select it first. Click and drag, holding down the mouse button, and then release it to select the text. Go back up to the Cut button and click on it once. The selected text is removed from the document, but the text hasn't vanished. It's now located in a special area of the computer's memory called the clipboard. We can paste it from the clipboard to another location in the document or into any other Microsoft Word document. You need to be aware that any piece of text that you send to the clipboard will only be available until you save something else there. It's not permanently saved in the clipboard. We'll explain more about this in a little while. Now let's tell the computer that we want to put the text we've cut right here in the document by clicking once with the left mouse button. Now when we click on the Paste button, the text is pasted back into the document in this new location. Copying text is similar to cutting, except that the highlighted text stays where it is in the document. At the same time, a copy of the text is being saved to the clipboard. This feature can save you a lot of retyping. To use the Copy command, select the text you want copied by clicking and dragging with the mouse. Then click Copy. Notice that the text is still in the document. Let's move down to the bottom of the document now, using the scroll button on the right side of the screen. We'll click to place the cursor here. When we click on the Paste button with the mouse, the text we've copied is pasted here at the bottom of the document. It's important to know that even though you've pasted the text in a new location, a copy of it is still on the clipboard, and you can paste it again and again. In fact, you can't really erase the clipboard. It always contains the last thing that you cut or copied to it, even if you exit the program and start another one. This is because the clipboard is a Windows feature, so it works in all Windows programs like Excel and PowerPoint. Next, we'll show you how to use the undo and redo features. The undo button here in the toolbar is a handy feature that allows you to recover from the last operation that you did. If you do something and then realize it was a mistake, or if you change your mind, you can use the undo command to return your document to the way it was before. For example, the last thing we did was to paste this paragraph at the bottom of the document. We can get rid of it by clicking undo. Word 97 remembers everything you've done since you started the program. Word 95 remembers the last 100 things you've done. Each time you click on undo, it will undo the previous thing you did. You can even see a list of all the things that you've done since you started Word. Just click on the arrow next to undo, and the list will appear. By clicking on one of the other items further down the list, you will undo everything you did back to that point. Next to the undo button is the redo button. If you decide you really didn't want to undo something, you can click on redo to change things back. And just like the undo button, you can click on this arrow to bring up a list of things you can redo. We can click here on one of these, but in our example, we'll just close the list by clicking outside of it. Now we'll show how to use the Find feature to find text. This feature is very useful if you're working with a large document. As an example, in our document we want to find the title Central Processing Unit. This combination of words appears 4 times in what we've typed. Scrolling through the document by hand to find this title every time it appears would take a while, and you might miss it sometimes. So to find this title, we'll place the cursor at the beginning of the document. Then we'll click on Edit. Then on Find, down here. This opens the Find dialog box. We'll type the words we're looking for in this box. Now we don't have to type the whole phrase. Let's just type the word unit. The Find feature doesn't need very much information to find what we want. The next step is to click on the Find Next button. The program now has found the first occurrence of the word unit, but the word appears by itself. It's not included in the title we're looking for. Let's click on Find Next again. Here it is, the first entry of Central Processing Unit. If we continue to click on the Find Next button, we can find the other places where Central Processing Unit appears in the document. The word unit comes up again whenever Word finds it, but if it's not the one we want, we just skip it by clicking Find Next. Now Word has found the last entry of unit. It happens to be part of one of the Central Processing Unit entries we're looking for. Let's click on Find Next one more time. Microsoft Word lets us know when we get to the end of the document. We'll click OK to close this box. If you want to continue searching for more words, when you get to this point, just type in another word and follow the same steps again. Now, if you're done using the Find feature, just click Cancel. If you're using Word 95, the Find box looks a little different, but it still works the same way. You enter the word you're looking for here, and you click on the Find Next button over here. Don't worry about these other features for now. They're not covered in this video. Word also lets you enter new text in place of text you found. If you'd like to find and replace text, click on the Edit menu and click on Replace. In the Find and Replace dialog box, we still have the word unit because it was the last thing we entered in the Find box. There's a link between the Find dialog box and the Replace dialog box. In our document, we talk about the computer game Solitaire. Let's say we want to replace it with the name of a different game called Minesweeper. We want to find all the instances of the word Solitaire and replace them with the word Minesweeper. Let's type it in here. Since this is already selected, all we have to do is start typing. Now let's press the Tab key to move to the next box and type in Minesweeper. When we click on Find Next, Word quickly locates the first time Solitaire appears in the document. Now, when we click on Replace, it's replaced with Minesweeper. We can keep clicking on Find Next to find all the occurrences of Solitaire, clicking on the Replace button as we go. Or we can click on Replace All. Now every occurrence of the word Solitaire in our document has automatically been changed to Minesweeper. When it's finished, this box will appear, telling you how many replacements were made. Click OK here, and then click on Close to return to your document. Once again, if you have Word 95, even though the box looks a little different, the steps for replacing text are the same. We just don't cover the features shown down here. Type the word you're looking for. And the word you want to replace it with here. Then click on Find Next and Replace over here. So to review editing text, to select a word or sentence, hold the left button down while dragging the mouse across the text you want highlighted, then release the mouse button. To select the entire document, click on the Edit menu and click on Select All. To cut or copy text, select it and click on the Cut or Copy button. Place the cursor where you want the text to be inserted and click on the Paste button. To undo something, just click the Undo button. To redo something that was undone, just click on the Redo button. To find text in your document, just click on the Edit menu and click on Find. Type in the word you want to find and click on Find Next. This lets you see where the word is in your document. Continue clicking on Find Next to find all the instances of the word in the document. When you're finished, click OK to close this box. To replace words in your document, click on the Edit menu and click on Replace. Type in the word to be replaced, and then type in the word you're replacing it with. Then click on Find Next. Click on Replace or Replace All. Click OK when it's finished, and click Close to return to your document. Working with documents in Word. Now we'll show you how to save, print, and close your document. How to create a new document, and how to open a document that's already been saved. Then we'll show you how to open several documents and work with all of them at once. First, we'll show you how to save your document to the hard disk or C drive. Saving a document creates a permanent copy of it on the computer's hard disk. To save a document, click on the Save button here in the toolbar. Then the Save As dialog box opens, because this is the first time we've saved this document. This box always opens when you save a document for the first time, so you can give your document a name. Word will take the first few words of your document and use them as a suggested name. But if you don't want to use this as a title, just type in another one. We'll type Computer Term Paper. This tells you the directory your document will be saved in. Click Save when you're finished. Now at the top of the document, in the title bar, the name appears. Once we've named a document, any further changes we make can be saved by just clicking on the Save button. When we do this, the document is saved again immediately without opening the Save As dialog box. If you want to save a document with a new name, just go to the File menu and click on Save As. This brings up the Save As dialog box, where we can see the original name of the document. Type in the new name and click Save. Working with duplicate Word documents. Sometimes when you save a document with a new name, you may see this box. Word is just telling us that there's already a document called Computer Basics in the My Documents directory. You can see its name here in the Save As box. Word gives us the choice of completely replacing the old version of Computer Basics with the one we're saving now. If we want to, we click Yes, but remember, if you do that, the old document will be erased. However, if you want to save the changes you've made, but don't want to lose the original, you should click No. That way you can choose another name for the new document, and the old one will remain intact. If you click on Cancel, then the Save As box closes completely, and you'll be back in the document. For our Computer Basics example here, since we don't want to save the original document, we'll click on Yes. The Save As box closes, and the old version of Computer Basics is replaced with the new version. Remember that what we've saved here is just a copy of our computer term paper document, but it's also a new document with a new name, Computer Basics. Because of this, we can make changes in this new document without affecting the original. If you need to make several similar documents with only slight variations in each, this is a good way to do it. If you want to save your document on a floppy disk, the process is similar to what we just did. This time, make sure you've inserted the floppy disk into the disk drive. Then click on File, and then Save As to bring up the Save As dialog box. Click on this arrow button. Then click on the icon for the drive where you've inserted your floppy disk. Finally, click on Save. This saves the document to the floppy disk. You can now use the disk as a backup, or you can use it to quickly transfer the document to another computer. We'll show you how to open documents from a floppy disk in just a moment. Next, we'll show how to print a document. There are two ways to do this. If you want to print just one copy of the entire document, click on this Print button in the toolbar. The document is then sent to the printer. You can also use the menu method, which gives you more printing options, by clicking on File and clicking on Print. The Print dialog box appears. Here you can select the number of copies you want, and choose which pages to print. You can either select All to print the whole document, Current Page to print only the page where the cursor is in your document, or Pages to enter a range of page numbers you'd like to print. When you've made your selections, make sure the correct printer appears in this box, and click on OK. What you've chosen is sent to the printer. When you're finished with your document, you can close it by clicking on the File menu and clicking on Close. If you've made a change and haven't saved it yet, Word will ask you if you want to save any changes to the document. Click Yes if you do, or No if you don't. But remember, if you click on No, you'll lose all the changes you've made since the last time you saved it. In our example, we'll click on Yes. Now our document is closed, and Word is waiting for us to tell it what to do next. If you're ready to start a new document, just click on the New button. Microsoft Word has created a new document for us and given it a temporary name. You can now type in your document and save it with a new name. Now we'll show you how to open an existing document. Click on the Open button in the toolbar. This open dialog box may look kind of confusing, and it's possible your screen may not look exactly like this one. But when using the open box, here are two things to remember that will make it simpler. First, this folder icon represents a directory in the computer. The directories are where different files are stored together. For instance, the document we typed in earlier has been stored in this directory. Second, this kind of icon represents the different files located in the directories. This file is the one we've been working on, and as you can see, it's stored in this directory. New documents created in Word will normally be saved in the My Documents directory, so that's where you'll probably find them. After you've found the file you want, you can open it by clicking on it. We'll click on Computer Term Paper to bring it up again. Then click on Open. Here's our document. If the document you're looking for is not located in the My Documents directory, just click on this arrow and click on the icon for your hard disk. This brings up a list of all the directories on the disk. Double-click on the one you want to open it, and scroll through the files until you've found the Word document you want to open. Remember to look for this type of icon. Once you've found it, to open it, just click on it and click on Open. The document then opens on your screen. If you click on the Open button in the toolbar and you can't find the document you want, you're probably just in the wrong directory. You may want to get back to the My Documents directory. To do this, just click on this arrow, click on the hard disk icon, and double-click on the My Documents folder. If you still can't find your document, you may want to use the Find feature in Windows 95. We show how to use those tools in the Intermediate Windows 95 video. Remember, you can choose different disk drives here as well. Earlier, we showed how to save to a floppy disk. You can also open a document from a floppy disk. Click on this arrow and click on the icon for the drive you want. In this case, our floppy disk drive. You'll then see a listing of all of the documents available on that disk. Make sure the one you want is selected and click on Open. Remember, after you've opened a document, you can make any changes you want and then resave it with the Save button. You've probably noticed that we now have several different documents open at the same time. Word lets you open existing documents from the disk without closing the previous ones that are already on the screen. Now we'll show you how to work with several documents like this, all at once. Click on the Window menu, and you can see that we now have 3 documents open. This is the document that's currently visible, as you can see by the check mark. The other ones are hidden behind it. You can bring them to the front by clicking on them in turn. Now this document is in the front. Any document that is shown in this list can be brought forward in the same way. Remember, just a few minutes ago, we showed you how to use the clipboard. Here's one place it really comes in handy. You can cut, copy, and paste text from one document to another by just highlighting the text and clicking on either Copy or Cut. Then switch to your other document place the cursor where you want your text to be and click Paste. The copied text is pasted into this other document. Be sure to save the document again with the changes you've just made. So to review, to save a document, just click on this button. If it hasn't been saved before, this dialog box will open. Choose the drive you want hard disk or floppy drive. Type in the name and click on Save. To print a document, just click on the Print button or click on File and Print. Change the print settings to what you want and click OK. To close a document, click on the File menu and click on Close. To create a new document, click on the New button. To open an existing document, click the Open button, choose the drive such as a hard disk or floppy drive. Choose the directory. Usually your documents will be in the My Documents directory. Then click on the file to be opened and click on Open. To work with more than one document at a time, just open the other documents you want. Click on the Window menu and click on the document you want to bring it to the front. To cut, copy, and paste text from one document to another, just select the text you want and click on the Cut or Copy button. Switch to your other document and place the cursor where you want the text to be. Click on the Paste button. Useful tools. Getting help. Now we'll see how to get help on screen instead of having to go to the manual. If you need help in Word 97, you can use the Office Assistant. That's this little character here. This is Word 97's way of answering your questions as quickly and clearly as possible. If you don't see it, click on this button up here. The assistant immediately appears. It will probably look like this, but it could look like several things, such as this, or this. Once you've clicked on this button, a box will appear that will let you ask the questions you need to ask. All you have to do is start typing. When you do, your question will appear here. For instance, if you want to find out how to replace text, just type, "How do I replace text?" Then, when you click on Search, a list of options will come up that all have something to do with replacing text. You can click on the one you want to see the instructions for replacing text on the screen. When you're done, click on the Close button. If you want to ask the Office Assistant another question, just click on it again. And the text balloon will appear so you can type in your next question and make your next choice. If you want to make the balloon go away, click Close here. If you want to make the Office Assistant go away completely, click on the Close button here. Remember, to bring it back, just click on this button in the toolbar. In Word 95, if you need help, all you have to do is click on the Help menu and click on Answer Wizard. This box comes up. Then just type in the subject and click on Search. Select a topic and click on Display. Cue cards will appear telling you what you need to do. When you're finished with a cue card, click on the Close button. Or if you want more help, click on the Help Topics button. This will take you back to the Answer Wizard. Anytime you see a screen like this, you can just click on the topic you need, and it will guide you. Or, if you need to see a complete list of what's available in the Help menu, click on the Index tab and scroll through the list. When you find the topic you want, double-click on it. Then click on the specific subtopic you want here, and click on Display. The information you wanted is displayed on the screen. When you're finished, just click once outside of it to make it disappear. To review Getting Help, in Word 97, click on this button to bring up the Office Assistant. Type in your question here and click on Search. When the choices come up, click on the one you want. Read the instructions and click the Close button. To use the Office Assistant again, just click on it. To make it go away, click on its Close button. To get help in Word 95, click on the Help menu and click on the Answer Wizard. Type in the subject here and click on Search. Click on the topic you want and click on Display. The information you wanted is displayed on the screen. Just click once outside of it to make it disappear. Checking spelling and grammar. You can use the spelling and grammar checking tools to find spelling and grammatical errors in a document. This section will show you how Word finds errors like this as soon as you type them in, and how you can quickly correct them. You've probably already noticed these wavy lines underneath misspelled words in our document. We'll show you what they're for in this section. We'll also show you a way of going through a document from beginning to end to check for spelling and grammatical errors. The automatic spell checking feature in Word finds possible mistakes immediately after you type them. Word 97 can automatically check both spelling and grammar, while Word 95 only checks spelling automatically. Before you can use them, you first have to make sure the automatic grammar and spell checking are turned on. So go to the Tools menu and click on Options. In this new box, if you're using Word 95, click on the Spelling tab. Click here next to Automatic Spell Checking if it's not already selected. Then click OK. Word 95 will now underline any spelling errors with a wavy red line. If you're using Word 97, click on the Spelling and Grammar tab. Select Check Spelling as you type here. And down here, select Check Grammar as you type. When you've clicked on these items, click OK. Now Word will underline any misspelled words with a wavy red line, and any grammatical errors with a wavy green line. Remember, Word 95 does not check grammar automatically. To correct spelling errors in both versions, place the mouse pointer over the mistake and click the right mouse button. The suggested changes are shown here. If you don't like any of them, you can click on the Ignore command below. If you do want to use one of the suggestions, click on the one you want, and it will automatically replace the mistake in your document. In Word 97, grammar checking works the same way. Just right-click on an entry with a wavy green line, then click on the selection you want. The change is automatically made. If you find the red and green lines distracting Word has another way of letting you check spelling and grammar. To turn automatic spell checking off, just follow the same steps in the options box. Only click here to turn the features off instead of on, like this in Word 95, and like this in Word 97. Now you can let Word find all the spelling and grammar errors at once, instead of looking for the red and green lines. We'll first show Word 97. Place the cursor at the beginning of your document. Then click on the button that says ABC. This brings up the spelling and grammar box. In this box, words and sentences in your document are compared with the spellings and rules of grammar that have been included with Word. Then it highlights the words and sentences in your document that are possibly incorrect and places them here. In this example, the first word it has caught is a proper name, which is probably not in its dictionary. Since Word thinks this is a misspelling, the sentence is included here, and the word is highlighted in red. If you know it's spelled correctly, and you have this word more than once in your document, you can click on Add to add it to your computer's dictionary. Or you can click on Ignore All. That way the spelling checker will skip this word if it appears again in your document. Now it has found a word that is really misspelled, and has suggested several new spellings we can choose from down here. To see all of the suggestions, we need to use the scroll bar. This is the correct spelling, so we'll click on it and click on Change. The change is made automatically in the document. The next mistake has been found. It's a sentence the computer says is too wordy. Notice this is highlighted. This is because it's a grammatical error. Word has given its suggestion for it down here. It's telling us that all we need in this sentence is the word popular. The word really isn't necessary. Using the Office Assistant to understand grammatical errors. If you're using Word 97, the Office Assistant can give you explanations and examples of how to fix grammatical errors in your document. Remember, if you don't see it when you run your grammar check, just click on the Office Assistant button here. Then you can look to the Office Assistant for a more detailed explanation of why the computer says you need corrections. It even gives examples of the grammar rules that apply to the error in the box. When you're finished with the Office Assistant, you can make it go away by just clicking on this button again. You can ignore grammar errors the same way you can misspellings. Or if you want to accept one of Word's suggestions, down here, you can click on the Change button. If you don't want Word to check the grammar in your documents, you can click in this box to turn off the grammar checker. When the check mark disappears, then only misspellings will be checked in this box. You can click here again if you want to turn it back on. Next, the spelling checker has found that the word "the" has accidentally been typed in twice. Once the spelling checker has found this repeated word, just click Delete, and it removes the second "the" along with the extra space. Now it's found where we've joined two words together accidentally. It has suggested an alternate word, which we know is wrong. All we really need to do is put a space between the two words. You can click here to position the cursor between the two words and type a space. Then click on Change. Now the change has been made. We can continue with these steps to search the entire document for errors. When the spelling check is complete, this box comes up. Click OK to return to your document. If you're working in Word 95, the spelling and grammar checkers are two separate tools. We'll show you spelling first. Place the cursor at the beginning of the document. Then you can turn on the spell checker by just clicking on this button, as we showed you before. If it has found a misspelled word, it's placed in this box. All you have to do is make sure the correct spelling in the suggestions box is selected. And click Change. If the word it found is spelled correctly, you can click Ignore or Ignore All if it shows up more than once in your document. Or you can click here so Word will add this spelling to its own internal dictionary. If the spelling checker has found a duplicate word, you can click on Delete to remove it. When a word is found and none of the words in the suggestions box is the correct spelling, just select the entry in the Change To box and type the word you want. Then click Change. When the spelling checker is finished in Word 95, this box comes up. Click on OK to get back to your document. To check the grammar in Word 95, click on the Tools menu and click on Grammar. In the Grammar box, errors are shown here, and word suggestions for the errors are shown here. If you want a further explanation of why Word says this is an error, you can click on the Explain button. This brings up a new box that shows the grammar rules Word is using to make suggestions. To see all the information in this box, use the scroll bar here to scroll down through it. When you're done, click on the Close button. If you don't want to accept Word's suggestions, you can click on Ignore here to move to the next error. If you want to make a change, you can use the cursor to select the text to be changed in this box. Make the change, and then click on the Change button. The change is made in the document, and the grammar checker moves on to the next error. You can continue with these same steps to check the entire document. When you come to the end of the document, this box is displayed, showing the different grammar statistics Word has found for your document. Click OK to go back to the document. So to review using the automatic spelling and grammar features, when you see a wavy red line, Word has spotted a spelling error. When you see a wavy green line, Word has found a grammar error. Click on either one of these with the right mouse button to bring up a menu of corrections. Click on the one you want. To check spelling and grammar all at once in a document, place the cursor at the beginning and click on this button. If it has found a misspelled word, click on the correct spelling and click Change. If the word it found is spelled correctly, click Ignore or Ignore All. If the spelling checker has found a duplicate word, click on Delete. If none of the words in the suggestion box is the correct word, just click the mouse pointer here in Word 97 and type in your change. Or in Word 95, select the mistake in the Change To box and type in your change. Then click Change. When the spelling check is complete, click OK. Follow these same steps to check grammar in Word 97. To check grammar in Word 95, click on Tools and click Grammar. For every error, you can either click Ignore or you can select the error in the sentence box and type in the correction. Click Change. When the grammar checker is finished, click on OK. Using the thesaurus. Next, we'll show you how to use the thesaurus to help you find alternate words that are clearer and more expressive than words you've already typed in. The thesaurus can help you improve your writing by suggesting other words to use. Click once in the middle of the word you need a synonym for. We'll click on the word convenient. If you're using Word 97, click on Tools, place the mouse pointer on Language, then click on Thesaurus. If you're using Word 95, after you've clicked on the word you want to change, click on Tools, then click on Thesaurus. When it comes up, this box is the same in both versions, except that in Word 95, these buttons are placed along the side. The word that we've selected appears here, and words with similar meanings are shown here. Click on the meaning you want. We want a word that means available, so we click on Available in the Meanings box, and then choose the actual word from this list on the right. Let's choose handy. When we click on Replace, the word convenient has been replaced with the word handy. To review the thesaurus, click once on the word and click on the Tools menu. If you're in Word 97, go to Language, then click on Thesaurus. If you're in Word 95, just click on Thesaurus. Click on the meaning you want in this list, and then select the replacement word from this list. Click on Replace. We'll now show you some additional ways to view your documents. As you create a document, certain keys that you press put hidden codes in the document. For example, the Tab key puts in a code that tells where text should be lined up. The Enter key puts in a code that tells where to start a new paragraph. In this printout, we've discovered some extra spaces, some poor alignment, and other problems. We can reveal the hidden codes in our document to help us find the reasons for these problems. To do this, click on this button that has the paragraph symbol on it. Doing this turns the feature on. If you click on it again, it turns the feature off. Let's turn it back on. You can see that the program has placed little symbols in the text to show where the codes are. This arrow indicates a tab, which was used to indent this first line. We can see that a tab has also been used here and here accidentally. The paragraph symbol here indicates the end of a paragraph, but there's another paragraph symbol here, which is the reason for this blank line. We accidentally pressed the Enter key twice. Here, spaces have been used to indent the text. This is not a good idea because the printout may not line up exactly like it does on the screen. You should always use tab stops or use the indent feature, which we'll cover in a few minutes. Now that we can see the codes, we can easily see where to make the changes. We'll remove the extra indentations and paragraphs. And we'll correct this indentation with the Tab key. Now, when we turn off the symbols, it goes back to normal. Next, we'll show how to view the layout of a page before we actually print it. We want to be able to see how this document will appear when it's printed. To do this, we just click on the Page Layout button. It looks like this in Word 95, and like this in Word 97. This is what the page layout view looks like. This line represents the top of the page. By scrolling to the right side, we can see this edge of the page. Use this button to scroll down through the document, where you'll see the line that represents the bottom of the page. To go back to normal view, just click on this button. Here's another way to view a page on the screen. Click on the Print Preview button up here in the toolbar. The Print Preview mode is different from page layout in that it shows us a representation of the entire page. If you click on the Multiple Pages button, you can choose how many pages you want to view at one time. Let's highlight the option for 6 and click once on it. Now we can see all 5 pages in the document. If you decide you want to go back to one page, just click on this button and you can use the scroll buttons to view your document. You can't make any changes to your document here. Instead, this feature shows you what your layout looks like. To look at a close-up of one page, just click on that page and it will have a dark outline. Now click on it again to zoom in. You can scroll through the page to get a better look at it. You can click anywhere on this page again and it will go back to the original layout. Finally, to return to your document, click the Close button here at the top. So to review, click on this button to show the codes in your document. Click on it again to hide the codes. To go to Page Layout View, just click on this button, here in Word 97, and here in Word 95. To go to Print Preview, click on this button in the toolbar. If you want to see more than one page at a time, click on Multiple Pages, then choose the number you want to view. To zoom into a page, click on a page to highlight it, and click on it again to bring it closer. To exit Print Preview, click on the Close button. Desktop Publishing. Changing the size and style of text. The first thing we'll cover in Desktop Publishing is how to change the size and style of text. To do this, you need to select or highlight the text by clicking and dragging across it. We'll highlight our title here. In the toolbar above the ruler is the name Times New Roman. This is the name of the current typeface or type style of the selected text. The type style is also known as the font. You can click on the arrow to open a menu of different fonts to choose from. We'll choose Arial Black. Notice that the typeface has changed. To deselect the text, just click anywhere else in the document. We can change the size of the font by again highlighting the words, then clicking on this arrow and clicking on a different font size. The change is made automatically. To change the size or style of the text for your entire document, you first have to select all of it. Remember, to do this, click on the Edit menu and click on Select All. Then, when you choose a different style or size, the entire document is changed. You can also choose bold, italic, or underline to emphasize a word or words. To do this, click once in the word you want to emphasize. Then click on this button to make it bold. Click on this button to make the word italicized, or click on this button to underline it. You can turn these off by clicking on these buttons again. To change more than one word, first select the text, and then click on the appropriate button. This is what it looks like on the screen, and this is how it looks on the printout. To review changing the size and style of text, just highlight the text you want to change and click on the arrow next to the font name. Then click on a new one to change the font. To change the size, click on the arrow next to font size and select a new size. To use bold, italics, and underline, place the cursor in the word and click on the button for the one you want. Line spacing and page breaks. Next, we'll show you how to change the line spacing and how to add a page break in your document. To change the line spacing, just click anywhere in a paragraph. Then click once on the Format menu, then click on Paragraph. This brings up the Paragraph dialog box. This box is set up a little differently in the two versions. We'll be clicking on the arrow under Line Spacing. It's here in Word 95 and here in Word 97. In this list, you can click on the spacing you want. Let's choose double space. Click on it. The preview in both versions of Word shows a representation of the change in our document. Click OK. The change is made in the document. This paragraph has had the line spacing increased. This one is still the same as it was. Microsoft Word makes these changes only in the paragraph where the cursor is. If you want to change line spacing for your entire document, remember to click on the Edit menu and click on Select All. This highlights your entire document. Then just follow the same steps. Click on Format, then Paragraph, then choose your spacing. Click OK. This is what it looks like when your entire document is double-spaced. If you want part of your document to begin on a new page, a good way to do that is to add a page break. Just click the mouse where you want the page break to be, and click on the Insert menu. Then click on Break. In this box, click on Page Break if it isn't already selected, and click OK. If you're in Page Layout view, you'll see the page laid out, like this. If you're in Normal view, a dotted line will appear marking where the page ends, and the word Page Break will appear in the center. To review line spacing, place the mouse pointer in the paragraph you want to change. Click on the Format menu and select Paragraph. Click on the arrow under Line Spacing and select the spacing you want. Click OK when you're finished. To change the line spacing for the entire document, click on the Edit menu and click on Select All before making the change. To insert a page break, place the cursor where you want the break. Click on Insert, click on Break. Make sure Page Break is selected, then click OK. Changing the margins and aligning text. Next, we'll show you how to change the margins. To do this, first click on the File menu and click on Page Setup. The Page Setup dialog box opens on the screen. In this dialog box, we can choose the width of our top, bottom, left, and right margins. The preview on the right shows a representation of the page. As we change a margin size, for instance this left margin, you can see the result in the sample. Now let's make the right margin wider. When we're satisfied with how it looks, we click OK. We can see the result now on the screen in the page layout view. Both margins have been increased. Now it's set at 2 inches on the left and 2 inches on the right. The printout looks something like this. Next, we'll see how to automatically align the text. In order to see the results on your screen, you need to make sure you're in page layout view. We've placed the cursor in the area where we want to make the first change. We'd like to center the title. Wherever the cursor is, that's where the change will be made. This text is currently left aligned. Let's choose Center. This centers the title automatically between the margins. Now we'll click on the author's name and click on the Right Align button. The name is now right aligned. Next, we'll put the cursor in the body of the text. We want this to be even on both sides, like a newspaper. So let's choose Justify. It aligns the text evenly on both sides. So to review setting margins, just click on the File menu and click on Page Setup. Click on the up or down arrows to change the margin settings. Click OK when you're finished. To change the alignment of your text, click the mouse pointer in the paragraph you want aligned and select the appropriate button. Using tab stops. Tabs or tab stops are used to place text at precise locations in your document. For example, if you want to make a table, you should use tab stops to line up the text. You should never use spaces to line things up, because things probably won't line up the same way on the printout as they do on the screen. We're going to make a table like this one to show you how the tab feature works. To do that, we'll click on the New button to open up a new document. Tab stops are set with the ruler. If you don't see the ruler, click on View, then click on Ruler. These little marks are default tab stops. They're automatically set every ½ inch on the ruler. You line up the text to these tab stops by pressing the Tab key here on the left side of the keyboard. Every time you do, the cursor moves to the next stop. That's how we're putting the space between each of the titles in our table. Now let's press the Enter key to move down to the next line. We want to put in new tab stops for the data in our table. You place new tab stops using the mouse. First, select the type of tab stop you want by clicking here until the one you want appears. There are 4 kinds of tab stops we can put in: left, center, right, and decimal. We'll choose a left tab. Then we'll place the mouse pointer on the ruler and click once. If you want to place a different kind of tab stop, just click here again until the tab stop you want appears, and click on the ruler. Every time you click, you place that kind of tab stop in the ruler. And you don't have to place it on one of the default tab stops. You can place it anywhere you want on the ruler. In our example, we'll use all 4 types of tabs so you can see how they work. Now they've all been placed on the ruler. To remove any tab stops you don't want, Click and hold the mouse button on the tab and drag it down below the ruler. Then release the mouse button. The tab disappears. You can also move a tab once you've placed it. Just click and drag it to the spot on the ruler where you want it. Now let's type in the data, pressing the Tab key as we go to move from tab to tab. When we want to start a new line in the table, we just press the Enter key. We can then enter the data for the new line. We continue like this until we're finished. Here's all our data. It's been lined up with the tabs we put in. This text is aligned on the left with the left tab. This text is aligned on the center tab. And this text is aligned on the right tab. These numbers are aligned on the decimal because of the decimal tab here. Let's move this tab over a little bit. Notice that when you move a tab, it only affects the line where the cursor is. Let's put this back the way it was by using the undo command. To change a tab for all of the lines, you need to select them first. Now, when you move the tab, all of the text aligned on that tab moves with it. Now our table is finished. It's that simple to use tabs. Indenting text. Next, we'll show you how to indent text. Here we have a paragraph that is a quotation which we'd like to have indented. To do this, position the cursor in the middle of the paragraph that you'd like to indent. In the ruler above, all the way over on the left, we see the indent markers. These triangular-shaped markers actually have two parts. The top marker only affects the first line of the paragraph. The bottom marker affects the rest of the paragraph. You click and hold the left mouse button on one of the markers while dragging the mouse in the direction you want. When you do this on the top marker, moving it over, it indents the first line. If you click on this box, it moves both markers. Now this affects the entire paragraph. On the right side of the paragraph, we use the right indent marker. Click on this, drag it over, and release the mouse button to indent it. Now the paragraph is indented the way we want it. So, to review tab stops and indenting, either use the default tab stops or click here until the kind of tab stop you want appears. Then click on the ruler where you want to place the tab stop. To remove a tab stop, just click on it, drag down, and release. To position text at the tab stops, just press the Tab key on the keyboard and type in the information. Press the Tab key again to go to the next tab stop. To indent text, place the cursor in the paragraph you want to indent. Click and drag the top marker to indent the first line, and the box to indent the entire paragraph. Click and drag on the right indent marker to indent the right side of the paragraph. Changing to column format. We'll now show how to change a document to column format. This is very quick and easy in Word. First, make sure you're in Page Layout view. Then click on the Columns button here in the toolbar. Hold the mouse button down, then drag down and drag to the right to choose the desired number of columns. You can go up to 6 columns. Let's choose 3. Release the mouse button and the document is reformatted into 3 columns, from beginning to end. Let's review this quickly. First, make sure Page Layout View is selected. Then click on the Column button and hold it down. Drag to the number of columns you want. This time we'll choose 2. And release the mouse button. The document is changed on the screen from beginning to end. Adding page numbers, headers, and footers. As you can see, we've changed this document back to 1 column. Now, in this section, we'll first show you how to place page numbers in your documents. First, click on the Insert menu and click on Page Numbers. In this dialog box, you can choose the position in the document where the page number will be located. Just click on this arrow. You can put the page number at the top of the page or the bottom of the page. We'll choose the top. Now click on the arrow under Alignment and select the place you want the page number. We'll keep it set at the right. This is a preview showing you where the page number will be. Now click OK. To see the results of page numbering, you must be in Page Layout View. Use the scroll arrows to scroll down to the top of the next page, where our page number is positioned. You can see here that the number is a lighter shade than the other text we've typed in. This just means that it can't be changed the same way you change the rest of the text. We'll explain more about this in a minute. If you want to see the other page numbers, click on either of these buttons, here for the previous page or here for the next page. Next, we'll show how to add headers or footers to our document. Headers and footers contain text that appears on every page, either at the top or bottom of the page. In fact, when we put in a page number a moment ago, we actually created a header. To put other text into a header or footer, such as the title of the report or the name of the author, click on View, then click on Header and Footer. The Header and Footer toolbar appears, and the cursor has been placed in the header area of the current page. The toolbar looks like this in Word 97, and like this in Word 95. Notice that while you're in the header and footer mode, the normal text for the document is gray, just like we showed you with the page numbers. This means that while you're in the header and footer mode, you can only type information into the header or footer. You can't change the document itself while you're working on the header and footer. Let's type the title that we want at the top of each page. Remember, if you want to change the font size or style of the header, just select the text, then make the changes you want. As you click on the Next Page arrow, you'll see that this header, the title, has been placed at the top of every page. Notice now that we've done this, the header and footer toolbar has disappeared. To get it back, we can click on View and Header and Footer like we did before. Or if a header has already been placed in the document like this, all we have to do is double-click. This brings back the box and the toolbar. Now we can put a footer in the document by scrolling down to the bottom of the page and clicking the cursor in the footer box. Then you would just type it in like you did the header. You can also place different headers or footers on odd and even pages. This would be useful if you wanted to have different headers on facing pages in a book. For instance, you might want the author's name on the left and the title on the right. To do this, click the Page Setup button on the Header and Footer toolbar. This brings up the Page Setup box. It looks like this in Word 97, and like this in Word 95. Click on the box next to Different, Odd, and Even. Click OK. Notice that the odd pages have headers now, but the even ones do not. So click the mouse pointer in the header on any one of the even pages and type the author. Now let's scroll down to see what we've entered. The odd pages have this title on them. And the even pages have the author's name on them. You can also leave the header or footer off the first page of your document. Click on the Page Setup button again. Click the mouse pointer in the box that says Different First Page, and click OK. Now the first page is blank. You can either make a different header here or leave it blank. Click the Close button on the Header and Footer toolbar, and you're back to the document. Notice the text here is now gray. You can easily change your header or footer by double-clicking on it. This will bring back the header and footer box and toolbar, and you can make any changes to it you want. So to review page numbers and headers and footers, click on the Insert menu and click on Page Numbers. Click on this arrow and select the position where the page number will be placed. Now click on this arrow and select the alignment. Click OK. To add a header or footer, click on the View menu and select Header and Footer. Go to the header or footer box and type in the title you want. To have different titles on facing pages, click on Page Setup and select Different, Odd, and Even. Click OK. If you don't want a header or footer on the first page, click on Page Setup again and select Different First Page. Click OK. To exit the header and footer box, click on Close. If you want to edit a header or footer, just double-click on it to bring it up again. Now we'll show how to insert pictures into a document. We'll begin in Word 97. Start off with your document on the screen, in the Page Layout view. We want to put our picture at the beginning of this paragraph, so we'll click here to place the cursor there. Since we'll be inserting a picture, we need to click on the Insert menu. Then, down here on the bottom, we'll place the mouse pointer on Picture, and then click on Clip Art here. This brings up the Clip Art box. Here we have many pictures to choose from. Using your CD-ROM for clip art. If you're working in Word 97 and you used a CD-ROM to install the program, then you have access to many more clip art images than you otherwise would. To get to these other pictures, put the Office 97 CD-ROM in the CD-ROM drive before you click on Clip Art in the Insert menu. If you do this, then you'll be able to insert any one of 3,630 pictures that are stored on the CD-ROM. If you don't have the CD-ROM in its drive when you run clip art, You'll only be able to get to 523 pictures. So if you want a bigger selection of clip art, use your CD-ROM. In the clip art box, we'll scroll down here to find the picture we want. When we do, we click on it. Then we click on Insert. This closes the clip art box and returns us to the document. The picture we clicked on is now inserted here where the cursor was placed. Notice these squares around the edge of the picture. These are here so you can resize the image. Just click outside of the picture to make them disappear. When you click on the picture, they reappear. To change the size of the picture, we'll place the mouse pointer arrow on one of the little corner squares and click and drag the mouse. When we let go of the mouse button, the picture is smaller. You can make it larger by clicking on the corner square and dragging the mouse again. Now it's really big. Let's make it smaller again. By clicking on the bottom, top, or side boxes, you can stretch the picture in any direction. Notice that the picture toolbar has appeared. If you don't see it, click on the View menu, place the pointer on Toolbars, and in the new menu, click on Picture. In the Picture toolbar, there are several tools we can use to make changes to the picture. For instance, we can crop the picture so not as much of it is showing. We'll click on the Crop button in the toolbar and then move it over to one of the small boxes. When we click and drag on the box, the picture is cropped in the direction we want. We release the mouse button when we're finished. Then click on the Crop button again to turn this feature off. We can also move the picture to a new spot on the page. We just click on the picture to select it, then click and drag on it to place it in its new spot. Notice how the text has spread apart since we put the picture here. This is something that automatically happens when you insert a picture. It's also something you can adjust. Let's click on the Text Wrapping button here on the Picture toolbar. This brings up a new set of options you can click on to let you arrange your text around pictures. You can even have text covering a picture if you want. In our example, we'll click on the Tight option, which wraps the text tightly around the image. The process is a little different in Word 95. First, you need to draw a frame for the picture to fit into. Click on the Insert menu, and then down at the bottom of the menu, click on Frame. Now notice how the mouse pointer has changed into this little cross. Click and drag it in the spot where you want to draw the frame. Now that the frame is drawn, you can insert the picture. Click on the Insert menu again, then click on Picture down here. Find your picture by searching through the directories. We'll double-click on the Clip Art directory. To preview the picture here, make sure the Preview button has been selected. Then just click on the icon for the picture you want. We'll click on this one. A preview of the picture appears in this box. To place the picture in your document, after you've clicked on it, click on OK. Now that the picture is in the document, the steps for changing it are the same as what we showed you in Word 97. You can click on it to select it. Then click and drag on the little squares to resize and stretch it. Clicking and dragging on the picture itself will let you move it wherever you want. But if you want to crop the picture, the steps are slightly different. Place the mouse pointer on one of the boxes, hold down the Shift key, click and drag, then release the mouse button. The image is now cropped. To review inserting a picture, first change to Page Layout View. In Word 97, click on the Insert menu, move to Picture, and click on Clip Art. Click on the one you want, and click Insert. In Word 95, click Insert, then Frame. Click and drag to draw a frame. Click Insert, and click Picture. Choose the directory to locate the picture file you want. When you've found it, click on it. Click on OK. In both versions, to change the size of a picture, click on it, then click the mouse pointer on one of the little boxes and drag to the size you want. To crop a picture in Word 97, click on this button, or in Word 95, hold down the Shift key. Then click and drag on one of the boxes to crop the picture. In Word 97, click this button again to turn the crop feature off. To move a picture, click and drag it to the place you want it to go and release the mouse button. In Word 97, to adjust the text wrapping options, click on this button in the Picture toolbar and click on the option you want. Macros. In the next section, we'll talk about macros and demonstrate how to record multiple tasks and play them back with just a few keys. Macros can help us speed up tedious word processing tasks. For example, if you correspond frequently with a certain person and he has a long address that you don't want to type every time, you can create a macro to automatically enter the entire address for you. To demonstrate this, we'll start with a new document. Macros are a little different in the two versions of Word. In Word 97, click on the Tools menu, place the mouse pointer on Macro, and then click on Record New Macro. In the new box, type in the name for your macro. We'll type in Jeff. By the way, don't type a name for your macro that has any spaces. Word doesn't accept macro names with spaces in them. Now we can assign the macro to the toolbar or the keyboard. In this case, we'll choose keyboard. Next, we want to assign a couple of keys to use to activate the macro. Let's try Alt plus J for Jeff. Hold down Alt and press the J key. It automatically types it into the box. If you look down below, it says it is currently unassigned. This means that this combination is not currently being used for another macro or shortcut combination. So click on Assign to assign it to the macro. After you do so, it appears here in the box. Now click on Close. Once you've done this, notice that there is a little symbol attached to the mouse pointer, like an audio cassette. This means it's recording. Every step you perform now will be recorded in the macro. Let's go ahead and type Jeff's name and address. While we're recording, the macro record toolbar appears with two buttons: Pause recording and Stop recording. You can click on pause anytime during the recording if there's something that you need to do but don't want to record it in the macro. Then when you want to resume recording, click on pause again. When you're finished recording, click on Stop. To record a macro in Word 95, just click on the Tools menu and click on Macro. Then in the macro name box, type in a name. Click Record. In the next box, click on the button for the option you want to assign the macro to: Toolbars, Menu, or Keyboard. From this point on, the steps are the same as in Word 97. Assigning a name to the macro and recording it work the same way. Playing back a macro is done the same way in both versions. We'll use the example we started out with in Word 97. First, we place the cursor in the document where we want to use our new macro. Let's say we want to put Jeff's address into a letter we're sending to him. We want his address here. Instead of typing it out, we just press the shortcut keys we chose earlier, Alt plus J. Instantly, the address we recorded earlier appears right where we want it. As you can see, this feature is very handy for repetitive tasks. To review macros, in Word 97, click on Tools, place the mouse pointer on Macro, and click on Record New Macro. Type in the name here. In Word 95, click on Tools and click on Macro. Type in the name of the macro and click on Record. In both versions, click on Keyboard to type in the keyboard combination. Click on Assign to assign it to the macro. Click Close and record your macro. Click on this button to pause the recording. Click on Stop when you're finished recording. To play back a macro, just place the cursor in the appropriate place and press the keyboard combination you typed in earlier. Merging. In this section of our video, we'll show how to use a data file, such as this list of names and addresses, to automatically create form letters and mailing labels. Merging a data source into a form letter. Say you want to type a letter that you want to send to several people. Instead of typing individual letters for each person, you can create one letter and insert the names and addresses where you want them to be. To do this, you need to create two things. Your form letter, the one we're creating, will look like this, and a data source. A data source is just an organized list of information, like in an address book. You may have also heard it called a database. We'll start out with a new document. First, click on Tools and click on Mail Merge. This brings up the Mail Merge Helper box. Click on the Create button. We can choose form letters, mailing labels, envelopes, or a catalog. We'll choose form letters in this case. In this new box, if your letter is already written out and is open on the screen, you can choose Active Window. In our example, we want to create a new letter, so we'll choose New Main Document. Now we need to create a data source, in this case, a list of names and addresses. So click on Get Data. Several choices come up. We'll only worry about two of them here. You can either create a data source to make a new list, or you can open an existing data source if you've already made one. Let's click on Create Data Source. A new box comes up. This is what it looks like in Word 97. And this is what it looks like in Word 95. The only difference is that these buttons are in a different spot. The features all work exactly the same way. We'll continue the example using the version in Word 97. In this box is a list of different field names that will typically be used in a data source. A field is just one block of information, such as a name or an address. These fields will appear at the top of our form letter: name, address, city, state, etc. we need to choose which of these fields of information we want in our data source. You can eliminate the fields that you don't need by clicking on the field name in this list, and then clicking on Remove Field Name. We'll keep these, but remove Job Title by clicking here. For now, let's also remove the company, the second address, the postal code, and these others. You can also add fields to your data source. Let's add a field called zip. Type in the name of the field and click on Add Field Name. Zip now appears in our list. When you have the field names that you need, click OK. Next, we need to save our data source file. In the Save As dialog box, just type in the name of your data source. Since this will just be a list of friends and acquaintances, we'll use the name Friends List. Then click on Save over on the right. Now you get a message that says the data source you just created contains no data records. You can add new records to your data source by choosing the Edit Data Source button. Or you can add merge fields to your main document by choosing Edit Main Document. Let's click on Edit Data Source. Now we have a data form where we can type in the information for our list of friends we want to send the letter to. As you can see, these are the fields we chose to make up our data source. We type the information in these boxes. Once you've typed in the first field, press the Tab key on the keyboard to move to the next one. When you're at the end of the last field, press Enter, and it will automatically go to the next line or record. Then just follow the same steps to type in another record. You can continue like this for as long as you want. We've now typed in 11 data records, but you can put in as many as you want. If you want to make changes to any of these records, just click on this button to go backward in the list. Or click on this button to go forward in the list. Click on this button to go to the first record, or this one to go to the last record. When you've found the record you want, make your changes. When you're finished, click OK. Now that we've got our data source, we can go on and create our form letter. Notice this document looks a little different. There's now a special Merge toolbar we'll be using in just a moment. We'll start by typing the name and address of the person sending the letter. Then we'll space down and type the date. Now we've come to the point where we'll be inserting our data source fields into the letter. This just means we'll be putting special codes in the letter, so the computer will know where to put each field of information. Since the cursor is in the spot where we want the first field to be, we click on Insert Merge Field here. Here we have the names of all of the fields in our data source. Click on First Name. Then type a space. Click on Insert Merge Field again, and click on Last Name. Press Enter on the keyboard to move to the next line. Once again, click on Insert Merge Field, then click on Address 1. Press Enter to move to the next line. Click on Insert Merge Field and click on City. Then type a comma, then a space. Click on Insert Merge Field and click on State. Then type another space, click on Insert Merge Field and click on Zip. Now the information from each of the fields will be merged into these areas. Let's skip a couple of lines by pressing Enter twice. We'll then put in a salutation and a space. Next, click on Insert Merge Field again, select First Name. This puts it in here. And type a comma. We can now go on and create the rest of our letter. Fields can be entered at more than one location in the document. For example, we could use the first name field again somewhere in the body of the letter if we wanted to. When you're finished, you can click on the View Merged Data button at the top and see the names from the database inserted in the form letter. Here's the first record. Now we can click on these buttons again to see each of the records in the data source. If you keep clicking on the Next Record button, it will show each record in your database. Click on this button and it will take you back to the first record. Clicking on this button takes you to the last record. To actually merge the form letters with the database records, just click on the Merge to New Document button. Word will then create one copy of the letter for each entry in your data source, with the information inserted into the merge fields. Let's click on Print Preview to look at each letter. Now we can make sure the address is correct in each of the letters. We can also save them all as one document, or we can send as many of them to the printer as we want. Just follow the instructions we gave you earlier for printing. So to review merging a data file into a form letter, click on the Tools menu and click on Mail Merge. Click on the Create button and select Form Letters. Select New Main Document. Now click Get Data and click on Create Data Source. Eliminate field names you don't need by clicking on the field name and clicking on Remove Field Name. To add a field name, type it in and click on Add Field Name. After you've finished adding and deleting field names, click OK. Type in the name for the file and click on Save. Click on Edit Data Source. Type in the information, pressing Enter at the end of each record. Click OK when you're finished. Place the cursor in the appropriate spot, click on Insert Merge Field, and select the field name you want. Click on the View Merged Data button to see the names from the database in the form letter. To merge the database and form letter, click on the Merge to New Document button. This will create one letter for each person in your database. Merging labels. In addition to merging form letters, you can also merge labels with a data source. Once again, we're starting with a new document on the screen. To merge labels, first click on Tools and click on Mail Merge. Then in the Mail Merge Helper box, click on Create and select Mailing Labels. Again, you can choose Active Window or New Main Document. We'll click on New Main Document. Now click on Get Data. We can either create a new data source or open one that has already been created. Let's go ahead and open the database we already created when we merged our letters. We open it by clicking on Open Data Source. Now we can find it in this box. Remember, we called it Friends List. We click on it and click on Open. Now we need to set up the main document by clicking on this button. The Label Options box comes up. Here, choose the particular type or model number of labels. The computer has a list you can scroll through of some of the most commonly used labels. We'll choose the 5160 address labels because that's the size we want to show in this example. You may want to use a different type of label. The number and type of label you want to use will probably be shown on the box your labels came in. This window is slightly different in the two versions, but it works the same way. Just follow the steps we've shown you here for both versions. Here it shows us the size of the label. Click OK. Next, the Create Label box comes up, where we can type in or insert the merge fields. This is very similar to creating a form letter. Click Insert Merge Field, and then click on First Name and type a space. Click again on Insert Merge Field and click on Last Name. Now press Enter to go to the next line. Click on Insert Merge Field and click on Address. Then press the Enter key. Click on Insert Merge Field again and click on the city. Put in a comma and a space. Click on Insert Merge Field and click on the state. Now put in one more space. Click again on Insert Merge Field and click on Zip. Click OK when you're finished. Now we're finished with creating the document and getting the data source. All we have to do is merge the database with the labels, so we click on Merge. In this new box, since we want this to be merged into a new document, we'll make sure this is selected. Now we can click on the Merge button. This merges the data with our labels, and they all appear on the screen. Now we can print the labels. Make sure you load a sheet of labels in the printer instead of using printer paper. You can send the labels to your printer just like any other document. Just click on the Print button here in the toolbar. Here are the labels, with each data record printed on a separate label. To review merging labels, click on Mail Merge in the Tools menu. Then Create and Mailing Labels. Choose New Main Document, then click on Get Data. Next, open a database you've already created by clicking on Open Data Source. Click on the database you want and click on Open. Next, you need to set up the main document. In the Label Options box, choose the type of labels. Click OK. In the Create Label box, click on Insert Merge Field, and then click on the name and address like we showed you earlier. Once again, click OK. To merge the database with the labels, click on Merge, then make sure this is selected, and click on Merge again. Single address labels. You can print a single address label if you already have a letter with an address showing on the screen. This is handy if you need to print a label to go with the letter. To do this, just click on the Tools menu and click on Envelopes and Labels. The Envelopes and Labels box opens with the address automatically inserted in this box. Make sure the Labels tab is selected here. You can either print one label or a full page of labels. In this case, we just want to print a single label. Now that this has been selected, you can also choose the row and column where it prints. For instance, if you've already used some of the labels from a sheet of labels, you can start printing at the next available label by clicking on these arrows to select the row and column. Let's choose row 2, column 3. If you need to change the type of labels you're using, just click here, and the Options dialog box opens. Click on the label you need, and click OK. Now it appears here in the box. Click on the Print button. Your selection is sent to the printer. To review single address labels, with a letter already on screen, click on Envelopes and Labels in the Tools menu. Click on either Full Page of the same label or Single Label. Click on these arrows to choose the row and column. To change the type of labels you're using, click here, and change your settings in the Options box. When you're done, click OK, and then click on the Print button to print the labels. Accessing the World Wide Web. If you're using Word 97 and your computer is already set up to connect to the Internet, you can go directly to the World Wide Web without leaving Word. Just click on this button in the toolbar to bring up a new toolbar that has special buttons for accessing the web. Clicking on either one of these buttons takes you to the World Wide Web while Word is still running. These buttons are a new feature in Word 97. They are not available in the previous version. To use them, your computer must already be set up to connect to the Internet. Exiting Microsoft Word. Finally, we'll show you how to exit Microsoft Word and return to the Windows screen. To exit, first click on File, then click Exit. As Word is shutting down, if it finds an unsaved document you've been working on, it will ask you if you want to save it. If you do, click on Yes. If you don't, click No. But remember, if you choose No, you'll lose any changes you've made since the last time you saved it. If you decide not to exit, you can just click Cancel. Let's click Yes to save the document. Microsoft Word closes, and we're back to Windows 95.
The video you just watched contains basic and intermediate features. QuickStudy videos are also available at the beginning, intermediate, and advanced levels for Windows, Excel, DOS, Lotus, WordPerfect, and Windows 95. We also offer tapes on Microsoft Works, Quicken, PowerPoint, the Internet, and a number of other programs. The flyer that came in the box with your tapes tells you how to order, and ordering information is also printed on the back page of your keystroke sheet. In 2 hours or less per video, you can learn dozens of powerful time-saving skills. Sometimes a single feature can save you hundreds of hours of labor. We ship all orders the day we receive them. You'll get your tapes in 7 to 10 working days. See your flyer for ordering information or call 1-800-828-8700.